The Beatles, Charlton Heston, music trivia, and Howdy Neighbor. We're going to give you 20 points for each correct answer, and if you don't get it right, we're going to take those 20 points away. We also have a hidden time capsule behind one of those decades, and Charlie O'Donnell, tell us what's hidden in this round.
It's a chance to relive one of the great moments in history, as the first men walked on the moon. Included in this collection is an authentic pennant, an official Apollo 11 patch, and a button commemorating that unforgettable day in 1969 when Neil Armstrong became the first man to set foot on the moon. Back to you, Scott.
Tim, you had the last correct answer, therefore you are in control. Let's go back here in round two. Pick a decade, a category, and we're on our way.
All right, the 60s and the Beatles.
Okay, and that is the time capsule. And what better could it be without the Beatles? And here is the question. It's for you. It's worth 40 points. Lou and Ann, you're out of this one. And it's also worth that Apollo 11 gift set. 60s, the Beatles.
Yeah.
This Paul McCartney classic, originally titled Scrambled Eggs, is the most recorded song in music history.
Oh, Yesterday.
It is absolutely Yesterday. That is correct. Originally titled Scrambled Eggs, you have 100. You have a good lead here. You also won the Apollo 11 gift set. Congratulations.
Great.
And you have control. Pick again.
All right, 70s, Beatles.
Staying with the Beatles. Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, and Mick Jagger jammed together at the wedding of Pattie Boyd and this rock star. Tim.
George Harrison.
No, it wasn't George Harrison. Oh, Tim might know now. Lou, Ann, no guesses? Eric Slowhand Clapton. Okay, Tim, pick again.
Go 60s short for.
In the 60s, many radical young people joined SDS, which stood for this. Tim?
Student Democratic Society.
That's correct. Students for a Democratic Society. Good for you, Tim. Pick again.
I want to see what that 50s Beatles is.
50s Beatles. In 1958, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison began playing music together in a group known by this name. Tim?
The Quarrymen?
Yeah, the Quarrymen.
All right.
Good. You are a Beatles fan for sure. Pick again.
Well, let's do 80s Beatles.
Finishing out the Beatles. Taking us back to the beginning of time, this 1981 campy film starred Ringo Starr and Barbara Bach. Ann?
BC?
No, not BC. Lou?
Caveman.
Yeah, Caveman. Same area. BC, Caveman. Lou, we give you the points. You have control. Pick again.
Music trivia 50s.
That'll Be the Day was the very first record played on the 1957 network debut of this Philadelphia TV show. Lou?
Dick Clark's.
Time's up. Ann?
American Bandstand.
American Bandstand. Sorry, Lou. Knew you had it. Ann, you get the points. Pick again.
70s music trivia.
In 1973, after 2 years of retirement, Frank Sinatra used these 5 words to promote his return to performing. Ann?
Old Blue Eyes is back.
Absolutely correct. And you have tied Lou for second place.
Hey.
Control is yours. Pick again.
70s short for.
Betty Ford was known as First Mama to those who used a CB, which stands for this type of radio. Tim?
Citizens Band.
Citizens Band is correct. Right. And what's the phrase that you use when you try to find somebody?
I don't know. I've never used a CB.
Isn't it what's your handle?
Oh.
Isn't that what's your handle? What's your handle?
Yes, it is.
I don't know. What's your handle? I thought it was. Okay, Tim, go.
50s short for.
Established in 1958, the government space agency NASA stands for this. Tim?
National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Absolutely correct. Good for you, Tim. Still in control. Pick again.
80s short for.
In 1982, Steven Spielberg did it again with the film E.T., which stands for this. Lou?
Extraterrestrial.
Correct. Go, Lou.
Oh, Charlton Heston 50s.
Breaking into Charlton Heston. In the Cecil B. DeMille epic, The Ten Commandments, Heston played Moses, and this actor played Ramses. Lou?
Yul Brynner.
Yes, it was Yul Brynner. 2 in a row for you now, Lou. Go.
60s, Charlton Heston.
In the 1965 film The Agony and the Ecstasy, Charlton Heston portrayed this historical figure. Michelangelo. All right, Lou, still in control? Pick again.
70s, Charlton Heston.
Heston starred in this 1973 sci-fi movie about a future with a strange diet. Tim?
Green, Soylent Green.
Soylent Green is right. That's what we were looking for. Okay, Tim, pick again.
60s music trivia.
The first satellite transmission of live TV pictures from Europe spawned this 1962 #1 instrumental by the Tornadoes. Lou?
Telstar.
Yes, Telstar. Good answer. I'll applaud that. That's terrific. By the way, Telstar, first English rock song to hit #1 in the U.S. in 1962, the very first one. Lou knew that. Okay, Lou. Good recovery. Up to 100. Pick again.
Howdy Neighbor, 60s.
Who was the nosy neighbor on Bewitched? Anne?
Mrs. Kravitz.
Yes, Gladys Kravitz. Okay, Anne, go again.
70s Howdy Neighbor.
On the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Mary's landlord Phyllis had a precocious daughter by this name. Oh, the agony up there, the agony. Beth. Beth, last name was Lindstrom. Okay, Anne, you're still in control. Pick again.
80s Howdy Neighbor.
As much as this nerdy neighbor tried, he never got anywhere with Family Ties' Mallory Keaton. Stumped. Skippy. It was Skippy. What a nerd. Okay. He was a nerd. All right, go ahead. Ann, pick again.
Let's change categories here and try 80s music trivia.
In 1988, this artist had 7 consecutive #1 hits on Billboard's charts, beginning with Saving All My Love for You. Okay.
Not a hit in
Whitney
this town.
Houston.
Oh.
It was Whitney Houston. All right, keep going.
Well, Charlton Heston. Let's get
Finishing off Heston in the 80s. In 1985, he was regularly seen on this Dynasty spinoff. Anne.
the Colbys.
The Colbys is what we were looking for. Very good. Okay, last question here in round number 2. Howdy Neighbor 50s. This next-door neighbor was always hanging around with his best friend Ozzie Nelson. Lou.
Thorny.
Yeah, Thorny. Mr. Thornbury, played by Don DeFore. That's the end of round number 2. Tim in the lead with 180, Lou with 120, Ann with 80, and we'll be back with the all-important decades round to find out who our winner is, and we'll do that right after this. In which decade did the first Boeing 707 appear? Tim.
60s.
What's your answer?
60s.
No, not the 60s. Lou.
50s.
Yes, 1954. In which decade did Chuck Berry hit #1 with his record My Ding-a-Ling? Lou.
60s.
No. Tim.
70s.
Yes, 1972. In which decade did Richard Gere appear in An Officer and a Gentleman? Tim.
80s.
1982 is correct. In which decade did Linda Eastman marry Paul McCartney? Tim.
70s.
No. Ann.
60s.
1969. In which decade did Pete Rose break Ty Cobb's hitting record? Lou.
80s.
Yes, it was in 1985. In which decade was a Pulitzer Prize awarded for JFK's Profiles in Courage? Tim.
50s.
1957 is correct, and Tim, you need one more for the win. In which decade did Jack Parr take over as host of The Tonight Show? Tim.
50s.
1957 is correct, and Tim, you have won the game with $500 is now yours. Congratulations. Lou, you were right in there. I saw you pushing as hard as you could. Good try, good game. And also, good game. Hope you had a good time. Not only at $500, Tim, you got the Apollo 11 gift set and the Chips motorcycle. You got it all. And we'll see you next time on Let's Go Back. And remember, it's only the decades that remain the same. I'm Scott Sternberg. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Let's go back home, bum bum bum, bum bum bum, bum bum. Let's go back.
Some of our contestants will receive Pasta Mama. Brings convenience to gourmet cooking with its designer line of pasta, from fettuccine Alfredo to dessert pastas and sauces. All cholesterol-free. Call 1-800-456-4045. And Concord's exciting neon lights 35mm camera has built-in electronic flash and is focus-free. Plus the neon point-and-shoot 110 pocket camera, sold nationally by Concord Camera.
Whoa, whoa, let's go back. Bom, be-doo, 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 be-bom, bom, bom. Be-doo, 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 be-bom, bom, bom. Be-doo, 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 be-bom, bom. Let's go back. Bom, be-doo, 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 be-bom, bom, bom. Be-doo, 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 be-bom, bom, bom.